Hello friends, my name is Dalit Soni and I welcome you all in this new episode of News on Map India segment. As usual, we'll be taking a look at few locations which can be important from your exam point of view. Other than that also, we'll be going forward with the few contemporary location as well as those location which has been in news in past week or otherwise as well. Okay. So we'll be discussing those location in the form of MCQs so that extra information can be given to you, and those information which are actually attached to that particular location can be there in your mind when you are solving a question. So let's start with the practice question which was given to you in the last episode. So the question was, consider the following statement about Laokwa Wildlife Sanctuary. Statement 1 is Laokwa Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the state of Assam in northeast India. Second statement is the sanctuary is located on the banks of Brahmaputra river. Then third is it is predominantly covered by the moist deciduous forest and is home to endangered Bengal toucan. Okay, so there are three informations. Okay, so you have to choose the correct one. How many of the statements are correct? So when we are talking about this Laokwa Wildlife Sanctuary, it is no doubt in Assam. So let's see the location. Before that, this particular wildlife sanctuary, or you can say protected area, was in news because after 40 years this rhino population has returned to this particular area. When we are talking about one-horned rhinos, you must have heard the name Kaziranga. Okay, so most of the population is around this national park and Kaziranga protected area, but the thing is after 40 years they have come to this particular area as well, because last time we have seen this species in 1980s, and that was done because of the encroachment of the local people in that particular area, and this species drove away from that particular region. Okay, so now they have come back, and that is why it was in news. As I told you, it is in Assam. So here you can see on the map location. This is the Laokwa Wildlife Sanctuary area. Okay, and this is in Assam. This is the state of Assam. Here you can see. And the second thing is this river here is Brahmaputra. Okay, so now it is on the banks of Brahmaputra river, as well as you can see this is Laokwa Wildlife Sanctuary. It is in Assam. Now when we are talking about this particular wildlife sanctuary, here you can say that this is Kaziranga National Park, and you can say that this Laokwa is basically in the buffer area of Kaziranga. Okay, now moving further, here you can see this is Bengal pelican. Okay, so picture you can see and you can remember this particular species. You can actually read about this one or two line about this species. Other than that, when we are talking about the IUCN status of this species, that is critically endangered. Okay, so in the question it was given that they are endangered, but the thing is they are critically endangered, so that is why that statement would become wrong. So let's come back to the question and see. Laokwa Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the state of Assam in Northeast Asia, India. So basically this statement is correct. We have seen that. And then the sanctuary is located on the banks of Brahmaputra river. We have seen that as well. So it is also true. It is predominantly covered by the moist deciduous forest. So when we are talking about these rhinos, they are living in habitat that is moist deciduous. Okay. Other than that, when we are talking about this Bengal pelican, no doubt it is present in that area, but the thing is their IUCN status is critically endangered. That is why this statement would be wrong. So here you can say only 1 and 2 is correct, that is option B would be your right answer. Okay. Now let's start with the question number 1 of this session. In the context of Bhitarkanika National Park, consider the following statement. It is the second largest mangrove ecosystem after Sundarbans. Sundarbans, you must have heard that this is the largest ecosystem of mangroves in India. Okay, and then the national park is formed by interconnected creeks, canals that receive water from Brahmani and Bhitarkanika river. Okay, so these rivers are important for you. Now third statement is the Gahir Mata beach forms the boundary of national park in the west, which we will see on the map. Then Bhitarkanika is home to largest congregation of endangered saltwater crocodile in the country. Okay, so how many of the statements are correct? So basically we have taken this Bhitarkanika because there was this new census which has released that is related to your saltwater crocodiles. Okay, and that is why it was in news and we have taken this question. So let's see. Here when we are talking about Bhitarkanika, so this is your West Bengal area and we have this Sundarbans here. Okay, and then in Odisha we have this Bhitarkanika National Park. These are also coastal ecosystems, so they are also mangroves. When we are talking about mangroves, you can say that large expanse of these mangroves are in West Bengal, and then we have expanse in Gujarat as well. Okay, then in Andaman Nicobar and some part of Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, etc. Okay, but the thing is, when we are talking about the largest protected ecosystem or the largest national park, or when we are in terms of mangroves, Bhitarkanika is the second largest, Sundarban is the first one. Okay, so when we are talking about the expanse of mangroves, we can say that it is in the West Bengal area, and then Gujarat area, Andaman Nicobar area, Andhra Pradesh area, and Odisha. Okay, and when we are talking about the size of the protected areas, Sundarban is the largest one, and then when we are talking about Bhitarkanika, this is the second largest. Okay, now moving further, here you can say Bhitarkanika, the second largest mangrove forest in India, is Bhitarkanika in Odisha. The forest is created by two rivers delta, that is river Brahmani and Baitarini. It is one of the most significant Ramsar wetland site. Okay, so now here you can see, when we are talking about this area Bhitarkanika, here you can say this is Baitarini river comes and merge with this river, and this is Brahmani river. Okay, other than that also there are few creeks and few streams are there. Okay, all these area is filled with creeks. Okay, creeks are you can say small not navigable water bodies. Okay, so they are river like structures, but they are not navigable. Okay, so these are creeks. So this is the area of Bhitarkanika, and these are two important rivers, that is Brahmani and Baitarini river. Okay, and then when we are talking about Gahir Mata beach, so Gahir Mata beach forms a boundary that is perfect, or when we are talking about Gahir Mata marine sanctuary, that forms the boundary of this Bhitarkanika wildlife sanctuary. But the thing is, they form the eastern boundary. Okay, so it is eastern boundary. So now coming back to your question, before that, as I told you, these are saltwater crocodile, and because of their census, this particular topic was in news, and we have taken the question. Here you can say crocodile conservation project in Bhitarkanika. There is this crocodile conservation project which started in 1975, and why this started? This was to increase the population of crocodiles in the captivity. Okay, so to protect the reptiles' natural habitat and to rebuild the population quickly through captive breeding, as the survival rate of crocodile hatching is nature is low because of the predation. So basically that is why they have started this project in 1975, and right now they are going for a census. Okay, so here coming back to the question, it is India's second largest mangrove ecosystem. We have seen that, that is correct, because Sundarban is the first one. Okay, and Bhitarkanika is your second. Okay, now the national park is formed by interconnected creeks and canals that receive water from Brahmani and Baitarini river. We have seen that, so this is correct. The Gahir Mata beach forms the boundary of the national park in the west. As we have seen, it forms the boundary in the east and northwest. Okay, so this statement becomes wrong. Now Bhitarkanika is home to largest congregation of the endangered saltwater crocodile in the country. So this statement is correct. So after that we have to choose the correct statements. So 1, 2 and 3 are correct. So that is why option C would be your right answer, that is 3 only. Now coming to question number second. Recently Pir Panjal range is in news. Consider the following statement. Statement 1 is the Pir Panjal is a group of mountain in the lesser Himalayan region. Okay, we will see, even though we have discussed Pir Panjal range many times in our sessions. Okay, so you must have known that this is in the part of your lesser Himalayas, otherwise we will see the map. Okay, it is running from the east southeast to west northwest. Okay, so east, when we are saying this is a particular place, and we say that it is running from east southeast from here to west northwest, so they are saying that their expanse is like that. Okay, so we will see, and obviously Pir Panjal's expanse is like that. We have seen earlier in our earlier sessions as well, across Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir of India. So we will see that the hill station of Gulmarg in Kashmir is lies in this range. Okay, so you have to choose the correct statement, and how many of the statements are correct, you have to mark the answer. Now come back to the map. Here you can see. So as I told you, when we are looking at the orientation, we said that orientation should be like this. Okay, we said, as I told you, here you can see from south or southeast to west to northwest. Okay, so this orientation should be there, and when we are talking about Pir Panjal, here you can say we have the similar orientation. Okay, then when we are talking about the Himalayan ranges, so you know that Himalaya is divided in various ranges. There is Trans Himalayan ranges, then Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Shivaliks. Okay, so here you can say these are your Greater Himalayas. Okay, then coming to this range, this is your Lesser Himalayas. Okay, this is basically your Lesser Himalayas here. Okay, so this particular part is your Greater Himalayas and this is Lesser Himalayas, and then we have this Shivalik range. Okay, so now here you can see, otherwise in the picture nearby, here you can see we have this Greater Himalayas and then we have Lesser Himalayas and then we have Shivaliks. So this area here, this is part of your Lesser Himalayas and Pir Panjal is here. Okay, so that is one thing. When we are talking about this area, this has been in news because of the terrorist activities, as I told you earlier in our sessions as well, that this mountain has harsh geography, and because of which hiding places are quite prominent over there. So that is easy for terrorists to hide in this particular area. Recently what happens is there are some places here, that is Rajouri and Poonch area. Recently we have seen some kind of terror attack in this particular area, and that is why this particular topic was in news. Other than that also, our armed services has started operation, you can say a military operation over here, that name is Sarva Shakti. Okay, so this operation is to eliminate this terrorist from this particular area, and this operation has started on the lines of another operation that happened in 2003, that is Sarp Vinash. So these two operations becomes important for your prelims point of view. Other than that, these locations becomes also important. When we are talking about the eastern side of this Pir Panjal, here we have this Kashmir Valley. Okay, so we know that south of Pir Panjal there are Rajouri and Poonch areas which are witnessing some kind of terrorist activities now. And when we are talking about the geographical expanse, this is part of Lesser Himalayas. Okay, and here you can see this is part of Himachal Pradesh. This area is part of Himachal Pradesh. This is also covered under Pir Panjal, and then this is your Jammu and Kashmir area. So ultimately you can say that it has expansion in Himachal as well as Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so here when we are talking about Gulmarg, Gulmarg is a station in Baramulla district, and Baramulla is also important because it has been in news. Baramulla, Anantnag, all these areas has been in news for a while. So now when we are talking about Gulmarg, it is in the Baramulla district, and Baramulla is somewhere here in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so coming back to the question now, the Pir Panjal range is a group of mountain in the Lesser Himalayan region. So this is correct. It is running from east, southeast to west, northwest. Okay, so we have seen that the orientation of Pir Panjal is somewhere like this. Okay, so this statement is also correct, and it across Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, we have seen that. Okay, then some people will say this occupies area of POK as well. So POK is part of Jammu and Kashmir, so there is no denying in that. So basically we can say that it is in Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. The hill station of Gulmarg in Kashmir lies in this range. Okay, so this statement is also correct. So you have to choose correct options. Option C would be your right answer. Okay, now coming back to the question number 3. In the context of Kaziranga National Park, consider the following statement. We have talked about Kaziranga in the previous question as well. Okay, it was in news because of the rarest golden tiger which was sighted in that particular area. Okay, so statement 1 is the rarest golden tiger, an adult male Bengal tiger with an golden morph. Okay, so you can say there is some kind of genetic mutation. Okay, so this is the golden morph which was recently seen in Kaziranga National Park. Statement 2 is approximately 1/3 of the one-horned rhinoceros total world's population found in Kaziranga National Park. So Kaziranga is famous for one-horned rhinoceros, but when we are talking about 1/3 or other number, we can say that it is nearly 2/3. Okay, so this statement becomes wrong. Now it is situated on the southern bank of the Brahmaputra river, which we will see on the map. So you have to choose the correct option. Now coming back to your maps, here you can see this is Brahmaputra. Okay, and then here south of Brahmaputra you can see Kaziranga National Park. Okay, and in the vicinity of this we have this Laukwa Wildlife Sanctuary, which is kind of buffer zone of this particular Kaziranga National Park. Okay, so we can say that yes, it is on the banks of Brahmaputra and on the southern bank of Brahmaputra. Okay, other than that, here location is pretty clear. Okay, And here you can see Kaziranga National Park. It was declared National Park in 1974, and then it was declared a Tiger Reserve in 2007, and it is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, it was declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985. So these three facts you should remember from your exam point of view. Now here you can see Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. Kaziranga has 430 square kilometer area with elephant grass, okay, meadows, swampy lagoons, and dense forest. Is home to more than 2200 Indian bird-horned rhinoceros, approximately 2/3 of the world's population. Okay, so this is the picture of bird-horned rhinoceros. Now here you can say rare golden tiger sighted in Kaziranga, which we have seen initially as well, and because of which we have taken this question. So this fact becomes important for you. Okay, now here coming back to this question, the first statement is true, which we have seen, and then statement 2 is incorrect, as it is 2/3 of the population, world's population, living in this Kaziranga sanctuary, and then it is situated on the southern bank of Brahmaputra river, which we have seen it is correct. Okay, so now you have to choose the correct option. This statement 2 is incorrect, 1 and 3 is correct, so option C would be your right answer. Okay, moving further, question number 4. Which of the following statement is not correct about the Namdapha flying squirrel? Okay, so now coming to the statements, it is an endemic to Meghalaya in northeast India. Okay, now when we are talking about Namdapha, okay, so if you have knowledge of protected areas which we have discussed in our previous session, Namdapha is in Arunachal Pradesh. So if you just have the knowledge of this particular place, you can solve this question, because this statement becomes wrong. Okay, but let's see the other facts as well. The squirrel is among the 25 most lost species, most wanted lost species identified by the Global Wildlife Conservation Search for Lost Species Initiative. Okay, so this statement, when we see that it is too factual, most of the candidate might not know. But the thing is, by putting this particular statement, they have made sure that if you know the patch, that if you know the location of this particular place, so you can find the answer easily. Okay, so that fact you can remember if you want. It is a nocturnal flying squirrel. So we'll talk about this squirrel. The species was named after the Namdapha flying squirrel, after the location it was discovered in. Okay, so obviously most of the time it is true, because if we have a location and that location is attached to a particular species, there are high chances that they must have named it after the location. Okay, so now here we see this is the flying squirrel we are talking about, Namdapha flying squirrel, or Biswa Moyopterus biswai. Okay, so this is the species which has resurfaced after 42 years in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so it was sighted there in 1980s, but then it was not present in this area, and now it was resurfaced in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so it is a rare nocturnal flying squirrel species found in Namdapha Tiger Reserve in Arunachal Pradesh. The Namdapha flying squirrel was last described in 1981 based on the single individual found in the Namdapha Tiger Reserve in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so that is a factual information. I read it for you. So now coming back to the map, here you can see that this is the location of Namdapha. Okay, other than that, also we have also talked about Pakhui, okay, Nameri. So these protected areas are also important when we are talking about Arunachal Pradesh. Now here, as I told you, option A would be a right answer, because it is endemic to Arunachal Pradesh and not Meghalaya. Okay, so statement A would be your right answer, because they are asking which is not correct. Okay, now moving forward with the question number 5. Parvati and Kali Sindh river, which were recently in the news, are the tributary of which of the following rivers? Okay, so these rivers has been in news because of a river linking project in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, because of which we have taken this question. Options are Chambal, Betwa, Ken, Narmada. Okay, so most of the time when we are talking about such rivers and we have this idea that it is related to some kind of river linking project, so and Ken and Betwa are given there, so we might go for that, but hold on for a while, because there are other rivers as well which are considering for the river linking project. So let's see. So when we are talking about Rajasthan, this is your Kali Sindh and this is your Parvati river. Okay, and they are tributary of Chambal river. Okay, and Chambal in turn is a tributary of, you can say, Yamuna river. Okay, so that fact becomes important for you. Now when we are talking about this particular river linking, we have taken this question because there was this recently an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, which was signed between this modified Parvati Kailash Kali Sindh Chambal ERCP PKC ERCP link project among state of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and government of India. So there are three parties, that is, one is Madhya Pradesh, second is Rajasthan, and government of India is the third party in that agreement. Okay, so when we are talking about modified PKC ERCP link as a part of national perspective plan, which is related to your interlinking of rivers in the country. Okay, so now here you can see Eastern Rajasthan Canal project. When we are talking about this ERCP, so that is Eastern Rajasthan Canal project. So ultimately there is nothing much about it. So basically what they are doing is they are going forward with a canal which would be connecting a water surplus area in a rainy season. Chambal and its tributaries has more water, so they will be connecting this water surplus to the water deficit area. Okay, so that is about it. So from Chambal and its tributary including Parvati and Kali Sindh to places of scarcity of water for drinking and irrigation. It will ensure drinking and industrial water needs of southern and the southeastern Rajasthan for humans and livestock till year of 2051. Okay, so now moving further, the question was related to tributaries, that is Parvati and Kali Sindh. They are tributaries of Chambal river. Option A would be your right answer. Question number 6. In the context of Rajgir Hills, consider the following statement. It is located in Bihar, are part of the Kaimur range, which is an eastern extension of Vindhya range. Okay. Statement 2 is the hills are known for their historical association with the Lord Buddha and Jainism. When we are talking about Rajgir, okay, so Rajgir is a hill which is surrounded by 5 other hills. Okay, that is one fact, you can remember that. Other than that, when we are talking about Rajgir, Rajgir has a historical significance as well, because Rajgir was initially it was the capital of Magad Empire. Okay, so that is why it is important. Other than that, when we talk about Rajgir, most of the time of Lord Buddha was spent here. Okay, so Rajgir becomes important from that aspect as well, and even Lord Mahavir has spent some time here, so that is important from your Buddhism and Jainism point of view. Okay, so let's see some discussions here. You can see these are Rajgir hills in Bihar. Okay, so Rajgir was the birthplace of 20th Jain Tirthankar, that is Muni Suvrat. Okay, and it is closely associated with the Mahavira and Gautam Buddha. Both Mahavir and Buddha taught their beliefs in Rajgir during 5th and 6th century BC, and the Buddha was offered a forest monastery by King Bimbisar. So you can remember one thing here, that Bimbisar was the contemporary of Lord Buddha. Okay, and he has offered a forest monastery to Buddha in Rajgir. And Lord Mahavir spent 14 years of his life in Rajgir and Nalanda. So these facts are important for you. So when we are talking about Rajgir, it is important from your Buddhism as well as Jainism point of view. Okay, so coming back to the physiography of this Rajgir hills. So when we are talking about Vindhya range, this is the Vindhya range, and then they have this extension in the form of Kaimur range. Okay, so this Kaimur range, here you can say they have some part which is extended in Bihar, and here somewhere we have this Rajgir. Okay, so we can say that these are extension of Kaimur, and Kaimur is further extension of Vindhya range. Okay, so let's see. It is located in Bihar, are part of Kaimur range, which is eastern extension of the Vindhya range. So this statement is correct. Hills are known for their historic association with the Lord Buddha and Jainism. This is also correct. So option C would be your right answer. Okay, now moving further, question number 7. Consider the following statement about Manas National Park. It is located on the foothill of Himalayas in Assam. So we will see. Then it is contiguous with the Royal Manas National Park in Bhutan. So there are high chances that it will have a contiguous region with Royal Manas National Park. Now the point is if it is in Bhutan or not. Okay, so if you have an idea of Assam's geography, so you must have idea that Assam shares its boundary with Bhutan, a large boundary with Bhutan. Okay, so that statement we will see, but it is correct. Okay, it is national park, UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site, Project Tiger Reserve, Elephant Reserve and Biosphere Reserve. Okay, so most of the thing that it is a natural UNESCO World Heritage Site, and then Tiger Reserve is there, and then Biosphere Reserve is there, and we have talked about this elephant grass, which is prominent in the Assam area when we are talking about the Kaziranga as well. So since there is elephant grass, there are chances that there might be an elephant reserve as well. Okay, so let's see. The name of the park originated from the Manas river, which is named after the serpent goddess Mansa. Okay, so the high chances that this statement would be true. So let's see. Here you can see that we have a few areas, protected areas, and this is Manas. Okay, and here you can see this is the green patch, which is a protected area, and now this is the boundary of Assam, and there is this patch in Bhutan as well. Okay, so we can say that Manas National Park has a contiguous zone in the Bhutan as well. So that particular area, or which is Royal Manas Sanctuary in the Bhutan, that is a contiguous zone with the Bhutan. Okay, so now here you can see this is the area of Manas, and then this is Royal National Park, which is in Bhutan. So they have this contiguous zone, and this is the Manas river, which we have talked about, on whose name you can say this wildlife sanctuary or the national park is named. Manas National Park is UNESCO World Heritage Site, a Project Tiger Reserve, and an Elephant Reserve, Biosphere Reserve. 1974 it was designated as a Tiger Reserve, and then 85 it was designated as a World Heritage Site. Even when we are talking about Kaziranga, that was also given this World Heritage status in the 1985. So that is how you can connect the dots, that both of the sites were given World Heritage status in the same year. Then 1989 becomes the Biosphere Reserve, and 1990 it is designated as a national park. Okay, so coming back to the statements, it is located in the foothills of Assam. This is correct. It is contiguous with the Royal Manas National Park with Bhutan. So that is also correct. Then it is a national park, UNESCO World Heritage Site, Elephant Reserve, Tiger Reserve, Biosphere Reserve, everything it is. Okay, and the name of the park originates from the Manas river, which is named after serpent goddess, that is Mansa. So all the statement here are true. So option D would be your right answer. Okay, we can see a practice question. Consider the following statement about Bhavbhut project, which is recently in news. It is located across river Sabarmati in the state of Gujarat. Statement 2 is the project is part of larger Kalpasar project, which entails the construction of 30-kilometer dam across Gulf of Khambat. And part C, statement 3 is part of Eliabet, an island of delta of Narmada and known for the shrimp farming, is likely to get submerged because of the barrage. Okay, so how many of the above mentioned statements are correct? Sorry, not correct. So you have to choose the not correct statements and then choose the options accordingly. So you can attempt this question and answer in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I will see you in the next session. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.